When you think about Europe's economic powerhouses, you probably think of countries like Germany, right? Or maybe the financial centers in the UK. But what if I told you that for the last 30 years, the fastest growing major economy in Europe has been a country many of us just overlook? Today, we're diving into the incredible and kind of undertold story of Poland's economic rise. So let me just ask you this straight up. If you had to bet on the fastest growing major economy in Europe since the 1990s, who would you pick? Germany seems like a safe bet, maybe France or the UK before Brexit? Well, the real answer is probably going to surprise you. Yup, it's Poland. And as you can see from this chart, it's not even a close race. Just look at that gap. While the EU average shows some solid growth and Germany did pretty well, Poland's economy is on a completely different level. It just skyrocketed. So that's the big mystery we're unpacking today. How in the world did Poland pull this off? To really understand this unbelievable climb, we have to rewind the clock. We've got to go back to the very beginning, to a moment of really dramatic and frankly painful change that set the foundation for everything that came next. Okay, so coming out from behind the Iron Curtain, Poland's old state-run economy was basically bankrupt. The solution they chose was this radical strategy called shock therapy. And honestly, the name fits perfectly. Think of it like ripping off a bandage all at once. It was not a gentle, slow transition. It was an abrupt, painful overhaul designed to privatize industries, crush hyperinflation, and open the country up to the world market, like almost overnight. This timeline really lays out the key moments. First, in 1989, the end of communism opened the door. Then came that economic reset button with shock therapy in the early 90s. But the absolute game changer, the moment that really lit the fuse, was in 2004 when Poland joined the European Union. That move unlocked a massive flood of new investment and opportunity.
All right, so those early decisions definitely set the stage. But what were the actual ingredients? What did Poland use to cook up 3 decades of almost nonstop growth? What's in the secret sauce?
Well, it turns out there's no single magic bullet. It's a really potent combination of a few key things. It's about how they spent their money, the kinds of industries they decided to build, and, of course, the people who actually did all the work. So let's break down these key ingredients.
First up, let's follow the money. As a new EU member, Poland became the single biggest recipient of EU development funds. We're talking about a huge amount of cash. That money was absolutely transformational. It was used to rebuild the country's entire economic backbone, everything from modern highways and railways to brand new high-tech business parks.
But here's the really clever part. It's how Poland used that investment. Instead of just betting the farm on one single industry, they built this incredibly diverse economic engine. You've got major players in things like auto parts and furniture, sure, but also a booming tech scene. For instance, Poland has become a global powerhouse in video games. It's home to the creators of massive hits like the Witcher series. This diversity is so important, you know? It makes the entire economy way more resilient when things get rocky.
Of course, you can have all the shiny new infrastructure and factories you want, but they don't run themselves. And this is where Poland had another huge advantage: a large, young, and really well-educated workforce. With a big emphasis on science and tech in their schools, the country produced this whole generation of skilled engineers and programmers. They became the real engine driving all the innovation and growth.
So, if we boil it all down, it's this powerful trifecta. You've got the smart, strategic use of all that EU money, you've got a resilient and diversified economy that can weather storms, and you've got this amazing investment in human capital, a skilled workforce driving it all forward. These 3 things didn't just add up, they multiplied each other, creating this incredible feedback loop of growth. But wait, there's another really crucial piece to this puzzle. It's not just about what Poland did, it's also about what it chose not to do. While many of its neighbors in the EU were hitting the brakes and stagnating, Poland just kept on accelerating. How did they manage that? This might be one of the most important decisions they ever made. Poland did not adopt the euro. They kept their own currency, the złote, and that turned out to be a secret weapon. It meant that during a crisis, like the 2008 global financial meltdown, Poland could let its currency weaken. And poof, all of a sudden, Polish goods were on sale for the rest of the world. That boosted their exports right when they needed it most. It's a huge reason why Poland was the only country in the entire EU to avoid a recession that year. Okay. So that brings us to today.
30 years of incredible success is an amazing run, for sure, but the story is far from over. And the road ahead? Well, it's got a whole new set of pretty complex challenges.
So what's on the horizon? Well, first, Poland, like a lot of Europe, is facing a big demographic crunch, an aging population and a shrinking workforce. Then there's geography. Its location, which was an advantage for trade, now puts it right on the front line of geopolitical instability. And finally, as Polish wages rise, the big challenge is going to be maintaining its competitive edge, shifting from an economy based on being cheaper to one based on high-tech innovation. So all of this leaves us with a really big question to think about. Is Poland's 30-year run a total one-off, a unique story born from a perfect storm of history and circumstance? Or does its playbook, that blend of smart investment, economic diversity, and keeping control of its own currency, actually hold a valuable blueprint for other countries? The answer to that could really shape the economic future of Europe.